Welcome, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We're here to do an episode of the Fuss and Game Day Pick'em. And man, there was a surprise today. Michigan fired their football coach. Welcome to the Fuss.
Can I please have your attention? What's all the commotion around here?
What are you talking about?
Let them yap at you.
It's actually very exciting.
What's up, guys? It is Brad with College SportsCast. We are here to do a combo show for you tonight. We are going to go ahead and do our weekly pick'ems. But first, we're going to start with the Fuss, the Big Fuss show. John, what is up? Today was wild. There was a big happening today in college football that nobody expected, seemed like.
Eventful day, man. It's crashed the college football world. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, everybody's been talking about the playoffs, and we're definitely going to get to all that and everything that went with that. But we do have to kind of back up here and talk a little bit about what's going on. But before we do, I want to jump in here real quick and talk about our Facebook. Man, we appreciate you. Hit that subscribe. It's only 99 cents a month. Does help us out to continue to make these for you guys and to cover all of the stuff that we do. However, if you pay the 99 cents, you do get your own subscribers page and a chat that we participate in, especially on game days. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe as well. Like and subscribe our shows. We appreciate you as well. So I just want to throw that in there. And then at the top here, top left corner of the screen, there is a QR code. This one is for the Real Fresh channel, and this is the bet code that we have with the Real Fresh channel. It is a Bet Us link with the Real Fresh channel and College SportsCast, and hit that code. It gives you 3 deposit matches up to 125% if you use that code. So that's going to stay up on the screen as we talk tonight. And John, with that said, welcome to the Big Fuss Show. And we're going to get started with the big news of the day. John, out of nowhere, Michigan fires Sherron Moore, their head football coach, with cause. He was only there 2 years. He was 18-8 as a coach. They went 9-3 this year. And kind of shockingly, he gets fired. I'll let you go into a little bit more of what the reason is, but he gets fired with cause.
Yeah, not a good situation if you're Michigan right now. And another thing, he also got detained by the police on the same day.
That was this evening, I think.
Yeah, this is ugly, Brad.
What's up, Josh?
Like you said, he was fired by Michigan for cause. The athletic director made a statement that they had found an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, which constitutes a clear violation of university policy and no tolerance behavior. He had just finished his second year, Brad. He took over for Jim Harbaugh, who left for the Chargers following his national title season 23. He was assistant on Harbaugh's staff and was part of the scandal that was with the sign stealing with Stallions.
He's been there actually since 2018 on staff.
Yeah. So this is not great. And you know, there's a lot of rumors going around that he, went to the woman's house and threatened to kill her and kill himself. There's just a lot of things floating around social media. Until that really comes out, we don't know. I'm not going to speculate on any of that because you don't know really what's happening in the moment.
What I do know is that even the school put out a statement saying that he had an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. And on top of that, what I do know is that he has a wife.
He does.
So, and some kids. Yeah, a wife and kids. So I think he's only 39 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's 39 years old, John. I mean, man, really and truthfully, it really is a mess for Michigan and for the school, for the football, for the athletic department. I mean, all around for him and his family right here. I mean, you're 2 weeks before Christmas, and his family, his kids. I mean, it really is a mess.
I'll be honest with you, Brad. It goes way beyond football with all this. You've got a family, you've got kids. It's almost Christmas time. You have literally broke apart an entire family on both sides.
Yep.
Very sad.
It is. I mean, 100%, like right here before Christmas and everything, it is a just horrendous deal. He's a 39-year-old man. He should know better, to be quite honest with you. But we still.
How ironic is it that the cheating scandal happened with Connor Stallions, and he gets fired for cheating on his wife?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to just jump and move on, but at the same time, John, I thought we were kind of done with the coaching carousel for this year. But with this shocker, I mean, Michigan is a damn good job. I mean, somebody's going to want that job.
It's a good job.
John, there's been some rumors that maybe they call Lincoln Riley. Do you think he would leave USC to go to Michigan?
His name has popped up several times, out of Oregon or out of USC. Now, he turned down the Florida Gators. Well, reportedly, the Florida Gators turned him down. He's been kind of featured with Penn State. If they centered this whole piece around Bryce Underwood, there couldn't be any better than Lincoln Riley at being the head coach. Now, one name that I have heard is Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer is not having a real great time at Alabama right now.
I just can't see it. Why would you leave Alabama?
Well,
and go,
the thing that really kind of sets it off is he spent a lot of his time in the Big Ten. He's a proven head coach. You take a clean slate from the Tide to take the Wolverines, who are probably not going to have as much pressure as Alabama. And I feel like, take that kind of pressure off of him and you put it.
I would be shocked. I just don't see it. I mean, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would do that to me. He's a tough. He just doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would do that to me, to be honest with you.
I'll give you one.
I'll throw you a name.
Jed Fish.
No, the one I'm going to throw you is a curveball. What about Brian Kelly?
Brian Kelly would be one. I feel like Kenny Dillingham maybe. He's rebuilt the Sun Devils program. College playoff contender right away last year. Had an 8-4 season this year. I mean, he had a lot of injuries. Sam Levitt, NFL, he put him in as the NFL draft prospect. Now, I feel like it would be tough to kind of get Dillingham away from his alma mater because, he loves that place. But that would be a name. I'll give you another name. Jed Fish would be another name. He's a former Harbaugh assistant. He's had successful, with the Rams, Arizona, the Huskies, Washington.
Yeah.
He took over for Kalen DeBoer at Washington, has been really good. They was 8-4 this year. They had a really good offense. Fish has connections to that university, Brad, and he's really good at developing quarterbacks. That would be my guess of a name that kind of you would throw out there.
That sounds legit, to be honest with you. Just wanted to throw out a few names. I'm not going to stick around on this long. I just wanted to open the show with it. We are going to get to the college football playoffs, John. That's kind of the big story this past week. Sunday, the field was set. The bowls come out, and we're going to get to some of that. But the first thing I want to mention is that the field is set. And, John, I want you to kind of run down the 12 teams that got in. Then we're going to move the next one. We're going to move on to some controversy and some things from there. But
Indiana was number 1. Ohio State, Oregon, Texas Tech, Miami, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Alabama. And then you have Georgia, Oklahoma, and Tulane and James Madison.
So with that said, there was quite a bit of controversy, really. Notre Dame was ahead in the rankings the whole time. And then at the end, Notre Dame and Miami was right there, 1 and 2, the next 10 and 11, whichever you want to call it there in the rankings. And because Miami had the head-to-head win, they put Miami in and knocked Notre Dame out. And that's the big controversy. But before I get to that, I'm going to do that real quick. But, John, I want to give you the floor here. I want you to talk about Indiana for just a second and what Curt Cignetti is doing at Indiana. I mean, they climbed all the way 13-0, beat Ohio State 13-10 on Saturday, is number 1 in the college football playoff field.
Unbelievable, Brad, what, Curt Cignetti has done, the success that he brought to Indiana, the jolt of energy he's put into that program. They secured Cignetti with a long-term deal. They went through the portal and done some amazing things, getting the Heisman Trophy finalist and Fernando Mendoza. Mark Cuban had a lot to do with that, with the NIL inside the department. They are a new blood in the college football realm. And, Brad, we live in a world now where Indiana Hoosiers could possibly be your national champions at the end of this.
I mean, they're playing as well as anybody. They do. I mean, when you look at it, they do have kind of a tough road. I mean, they're going to have to play the winner of Alabama, Oklahoma. Okay,
I agree.
Then they're going to get there. I think they're matched up with Texas Tech, right? The 4 seed, and that side of the bracket.
I think Oklahoma plays Alabama first.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they get past that, their next round,
I think so. Yes,
would be Texas Tech, and then you have to go through probably Georgia or Oregon, or not Georgia or Ohio State again to the national championship game. So even though they're the number 1 seed, when you look at Indiana, you got Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas Tech probably, or Oregon, and then you probably got Georgia or Ohio State. I mean, that's not an easy task to get through.
It's not. In Georgia right now, Brad, is playing as good as anybody in the country.
Their defense is coming around. And the other night, I mean, they really, I thought against Georgia Tech played really good defense. And then last week, against Bama in the SEC championship game, John, they just keep winning SECs. Like, we talk about Texas and we talk about the Alabamas and we talk about all these, the Texas Techs this year and the Ole Misses, and we talk about all this, but Georgia just simply keeps finding a way, and here they are at the top of the SEC again.
I mean, they win games, man. They They've done really well in the portal last year. They got Zachariah Branch from USC. Gunnar Stockton is having a really good end of his year, playing about as good as anybody. Kirby Smart, to me, Brad, is the top coach in the country, in my opinion, next to Cignetti. He just knows how to get them prepared, and he knows how to get them to play. And they come and they just punch you in the mouth. They get you down, and they just keep pushing. And I tell people this all the time about Georgia. They got guys that just want to win.
And here's the thing, John. It's not easy to keep that mentality year after year and that drive and that that's not easy to do, man. And somehow Kirby keeps doing it.
He knows how to win SEC big games. He knows how to win the big ones. Now, they had a little bit of a down year last year, Brad. I mean, it was not normal for Georgia standards, but they have kind of re-inflamed that this year, and they have put some pieces together. And I feel like Gunnar Stockton has really been a big piece to that. He struggled early in the year. There was a few games where he didn't play real great, but then he kind of figured it out. In the game, what was it, Saturday night against Alabama, I thought he looked like, everybody talks about Ty Simpson. I thought he played better than Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson couldn't even stand in the pocket. He was being pressured on
he had like 72 yards passing at the start of the fourth quarter or something. Ty Simpson.
He was having struggles the entire night.
Yeah. Another team I don't want to I feel like I'd be amiss to not bring them up. Texas Tech grabs the 4 seed here. It gets the bye. John, they have been really, really good all season long. They manhandled BYU again, and BYU is a darn good team. And
I'm going to say this, Brad.
They got a great defense, man. A great defense.
Texas
good quarterback.
Tech is the most. Oh, go ahead.
They got a great quarterback. They got a good offense, but that defense is special.
It's good. And I'm going to say this, Brad. Texas Tech is a dangerous team right now.
I think that's the team that could be the shocker, to be honest.
They probably going to have to get by Oregon, which, Oregon plays James Madison, which I think, Oregon was a 20.5-point favorite. Last time
opening, I think so. Yeah.
So it's probably going to be Texas Tech and Oregon when it's all said and done. Listen, what Texas Tech has done is quite remarkable. They're on fire, Brad. They're playing as good as anybody.
They went out and spent a bunch of money on this roster, and it's paid off.
I wouldn't put it past them to be in the Final Four of the college football playoff. Yeah,
I think so. They're in the 4th spot. They just got to win one game. They probably will match up against Oregon. That's going to be a very, very interesting game if that happens, if you ask me, between Texas Tech and Oregon. And then, of course, you got Ohio State in the number 2 spot, John.
Yeah, Ohio State's got some –
They're going to be hungry. They're going to be hungry after losing.
Well, they got Julian Sayin, Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs. You read something to me today that kind of shook me. Is when you said that they had, I think, was it 900, the ratings, and Indiana was only 600 when it come to talent. And that blows my mind that Indiana don't have any 3-star or don't have any 4 stars or 5 stars, but they just simply win based off of coaching. Do you know how hard that is to do in this college football world of this NIL?
It's crazy. They have 0 4 stars, 0 5 stars, and doing all this.
It's tough, man.
Yeah. All right, John, let's get to the controversy here. I told you guys, I kind of hinted to it, that Notre Dame was left out of this thing. They didn't take too well to it. and we will get to that on the next topic. But, John, I want to ask you, who's to blame here? Everybody keeps, like so many people are saying, well, you got to expand the playoffs. Expand the playoffs only waters it down, and you're just kicking it down to the next team. You're just kicking it down. Now we're going to be arguing about Virginia should be in, or like, and it's just watering down who we're even arguing about. I don't think expanding the playoffs is the issue. I've got my own opinion. I'm going to let you wrote an article. I want you to kind of talk about it here. Well, who's to blame for, because there's two group of fives, and I don't even think most people even understand why or how that happened.
Well, I think
people think, John, they're like, well, how did they put JMU in over Notre Dame? That's not how it works. Notre Dame's not in a conference, and they're an at-large, and James Madison got in as an auto bid.
You want to know
That's not how it works.
You want to know why Notre Dame was not in the playoffs? Okay, so BYU's loss in the Big 12 championship had a lot to do with it. You know, Miami jumped BYU they set a spot behind Notre Dame.
Yep.
Which then you're basically kind of comparing the teams, and they couldn't.
When they're right beside each other, you have to compare the two teams,
and you couldn't ignore that Miami beat the Fighting Irish to open the year.
Nope.
And you got to look at head-to-head. Miami, to me, you know, they got the head-to-head victory. I feel like they got it right. Now, Notre Dame probably was going to stay in the field as long as it kept its distance from Miami. But the championship weekend, there was a lot happened. The final spot really came down to Miami Notre Dame. They couldn't overcome that opening week loss, Brad, which nope. I know Miami had the loss to Louisville, which is probably one of their worst losses.
But Louisville was 8-4. It's not like they were like dog water or nothing.
Well, and then you had Notre Dame fans hollering, well, Alabama should have been left out. Well, Alabama made the SEC championship game. And
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with a team that was in that had to play an extra game. They're a 3-loss team. No, they were a 2-loss team, just like everybody else at the end of 12 games at the end of the regular season. And Bama just happened to have to play an extra game because they made the championship game.
Here's my problem. Why isn't Notre Dame in a conference?
There's your first problem, is that Notre Dame's not in a conference, and they have to rely on an at-large bid. That's your first
Brad. The thing is, Brad, they have their own TV rights with NBC, and they can create their own schedule. Say you're in the ACC, you're probably going to get Notre Dame in the playoff.
Yeah, because they're probably going to win the ACC or at least be 1 or 2. Because they're there every year.
Well, and then you had them withdrawing from the bowl game, which I thought was really, really stupid. You know, they was going to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl against BYU. It feels like that they was crying and whining because they didn't get their way. Well, join a conference. Get out of the independent status. Yeah.
First of all, you're not in a conference, so you have to rely on an at-large bid, okay? Second of all, the ACC is really one of the major factors here on how Notre Dame got left out. And you want to say, oh, how is that? Why is that? It's because the ACC put Duke into the championship game, okay? And I say put them in. Tiebreakers somehow warped into that there was 4 teams tied at 6-2. They let the team with the worst overall record into the ACC championship game. And what happened is that team upset Virginia. All right. And when the winner of the ACC was ranked below Tulane, below James Madison, hell, they were probably ranked below Boise State. Okay. That's how low their winner was. Well, the top 5 conference winners get in. Guess what? If your power conference and your conference winner is not inside the top 5, you suck. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. That's how James Madison got in. It wasn't. So here's the scenario, okay? Before the championship week, Miami was ranked 12th and Virginia was ranked 17th. Tulane was 20th and JMU was 25th. Okay? So if you pair up the 2 teams with the best record, 10-2 Virginia and 10-2 Miami, to play each other in the ACC championship, the winner is ranked ahead of both Tulane and James Madison. No matter who wins, even if Virginia wins and ranks 17th, they're going to stay above Tulane, who is 20th. It only makes sense, people. And then, guess what? JMU's not out, or not in, they're out. And you got to have an additional at-large team. Guess who that at-large team would be?
Tulane. Or not
Notre
Tulane.
Dame.
Notre Dame.
It would be Notre Dame. That's how, and people don't understand how this works, but that's how this works.
It does.
And then, John, we're going to get to, then Notre Dame just quits, opts out of the bowl game. Now,
yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you, John. I hate the mentality. I hate that anybody even thinks that way. You got players who probably want to play in this game. You've got a team to teach your team. Notre Dame is supposed to have all that pride and all that history, and they tap the sign and they tradition and all the stuff that they have, and that they play like champions. Well, you quit like champions too, apparently, when you don't get your way. I mean, like, what kind of a message does that send to your, not just your team, your entire program and athletic department? And let's not mention that you're walking away from a possibly $3, $4, $5, $6 million payday from the bowls and everything else that can help you in the revenue share era that we're in. Like, I don't know, John. For me, it's just absolutely pitiful, to be honest, that they opt out of this bowl.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not even a fan of the opting out in the regular bowls, much less a college football playoff that you have.
10-2 team. I mean, the only team that I can think of that's ever done that was possibly that Florida State team.
Yep.
That, again, was crying because they didn't make it into the 4-team college football playoff.
They still played, but they got absolutely humiliated on national TV by Georgia. I mean, they had a lot of opt-outs, to be fair, but
right, they did, absolutely. All right, John.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Let's talk about the first round home games. We're not going to pick them yet. We're going to preview them next week, but just kind of run down the first round home games, and I call them home games here because 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the rankings actually get a home playoff game. It's going to be a great environment for college football on the 20th, and maybe one of them's another day. John, give us the days.
The 19th Alabama and Oklahoma play.
Okay.
Alabama lost to Oklahoma at
And
Tuscaloosa.
this one's in Norman, right?
Well, and the winner gets Indiana in the Rose Bowl. So,
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
It's a big one.
It is. Then you got A&M and Miami on Saturday. You know, they was the last team in the field. They get to travel to College Station. The Aggies are playing for a little bit here. You know, they lost to their rival Texas in the finale. It kept them out of the SEC title game, which I think is going to be a big thing for them, kind of like a motivation factor. Then you got Mississippi and Tulane playing yet again.
What's up, Shane?
Year, the Rebels won pretty big. Now, Lane Kiffin's not going to be there, and so it's a whole different group. And, you know, the Green Wave won the American.
Now,
this game's tricky for me. How will these players play?
They're playing Miami. A&M's playing Miami.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, and you're saying in the next round they match up with Ole Miss.
No, I was just talking about the games in general. The Mississippi and Ole Miss and Tulane.
Yeah.
You know, how is Tulane going to really put this game together with their coach going to Florida and him coaching?
I tell you what, for John Summerall to be doing this double time, like as a head coach, and still not giving up on those boys for Tulane, honestly, it's remarkable. Like you got to tip your cap to him. No kidding. It's really good to see.
The other part of it, Oregon, Will Stein, offensive coordinator going to Kentucky.
I mean, he's being a head coach and an offensive coordinator, but Summerall's doing double duty as a head coach, both.
I'm going to say this, Brad. Duke win the ACC. They lose the ACC. James Madison's probably not in.
They're not. It's no probably. They're not in.
No. I just think they're going to have a difficult time at Autzen Stadium. That's a tough place to play. Oregon has been really, really good this year. You know, Dante Moore's playing as well as anybody. Now, Oregon's had a lot of injuries this season, which, you know, they've kind of adjusted to that. That's the thing I really like. I think
everybody knows that I love Dan Lanning and the job that he's done.
A good coach. Dan Lanning's a hell of a coach.
He is. I expect Oregon to win that. They will be matched up with Texas Tech if they do win that one. That's going to be a very interesting game as well. So there's one game on the 19th and 3 on the 20th. Is that how it works? Just making sure. I think that's the way it is.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. Say this real quick before we get off, or before we move on to something else. Everybody's overlooking Georgia. You know, they come in on a 9-game win streak. They beat Alabama. Georgia isn't as good, I don't think, as the 21-22 team, but it's balanced, okay? They got a good run game. They got a good wide receiver room. They're battle-tested. You know, they got Gunnar Stockton, Branch, Frazier, the running back. I'm telling you, Brad, Kirby Smart in these type of environments.
Listen, if he gets another one here,
knows how to do things.
There's no question that he's the best coach in college football.
Yeah.
If he gets another one. And I'm not talking about just this year. Next year, 2 years from now, he gets another one, he's the best coach in college football.
And then I'll kind of add real quick on who was it? Was it Alabama? They slid into this field, Brad. You know, Alabama did beat Georgia on the road in September.
Yeah.
They basically ended Georgia's 30-game winning streak, home winning streak. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat Tennessee. When they are clicking, Brad, they play as good as anybody.
They haven't been clicking real well lately.
They haven't. And Oklahoma, man, this game is really hard to kind of grasp because you got an Oklahoma team that has a lot of offensive struggles. Now they did beat Tennessee.
Yeah,
They beat
their
Alabama.
defense is good, though.
They're really good defensively. They're good against the run. They get turnovers. This game is going to kind of be one of my underrated games of the whole playoff. Like, how does Alabama get their offense straightened out? How does their offense get straightened out? Ty Simpson has looked a shell of himself the last few weeks.
I agree, man. I've got 3 quick topics. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but I do have 3 quick topics on basketball. John, I don't know if you have paid any attention to Audie Crooks in the women's game, but, man, I just wanted to give her a shout-out here. She has been playing extremely, extremely well, and nobody can stop her, it seems like. I wanted to ask you about that and then kind of run through some of your best players in the women's game.
I'm going to go Sarah Strong is one. You know, Beckers and Fudd got a lot of publicity last year. Strong was just as important. She got better as the tournament went. She had, I think, 2.3 steals. She had 38% from the three. Her weakness, it's hard to find a weakness in her game, honestly. She's really, really good. You know, Lauren Betts is another one. She's a contender for National Player of the Year. Hannah Hidalgo, she was electrifying as a freshman. You know, she had ACC Player of the Year last year, Defensive Player of the Year. You know, Olivia Miles transferred to TCU. She had to kind of build that whole team by herself and kind of lead that team, I think. And she's doing a really good job with it. And then you got Madison Booker. She's so good, man. Vlajah Johnson, Tanai Latson. I mean, you could go down a whole list, Brett. Asa Fudd.
There he is. I'm gonna give you a couple of names that you ain't even got to and probably won't mention. But Michaela Blake's at Vandy. You might have just said it when I started saying that, but Michaela Blake's at Vandy and Liv McGill at Florida. Man, she's tearing it up. She's averaging like 27 points a game. She's tearing it up at Florida. I'm gonna give you a underrated player that she's a mid-major. Maggie Dugan from Richmond. Yeah.
Maggie Dugman is really, really good.
She is
so productive. I think she had 22 points against Oklahoma State. Last year, tournament, she went off against Georgia Tech and UCLA. She was really, really good for them. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Kentucky play them last year or this year? I think it was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last year.
It was last year. She built her game up to that point. That was a good team Kentucky played last year. Yeah,
they were.
So, those are some of mine. I mean, you might have a few more. Camille Pierre from NC State.
Yeah. I mean, the girls' game, people don't realize it, but the girls' game is like filled with great players. Jazzy Davidson at USC, a freshman, is playing lights out for a freshman, man. I mean, there's just good players everywhere. Michigan has got Swords. I mean, there's just good players everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they're everywhere, Brad. Like you said, Crooks is a beast in the paint.
She's
imposing. She's just so imposing. She imposes her will. I don't know, Brad. She's just.
Before we move on, I do want to mention one other name. This girl is from the state of Kentucky. Gracie Merkel is at Penn State. And Gracie Merkel is averaging almost 23 points, 8 rebounds a game at Penn State this year. She had put her name in the portal last year. She wound up going back to Penn State, and she is having a monster year. I just want to throw her name in as another one. She's like 6'4", 6'5". She's a big girl, and she plays that center, and she's having a great year at Penn State so far. Just shout out to her. All right, John, real quick, some teams that are exceeding early expectations in the men's game, college basketball.
BYU is one. AJ DeBonsa, Robert Wright, they got a really, really fun team, Brad. They had the come from behind 22-point win. I think it was yesterday. A game winner, actually. Robert Wright hit the game winner to beat Clemson. Clemson's a really good team. I watched Clemson during that game. They got a really good set of players there. Brad Brownell is a really good coach. I'll go Arkansas. I think they're better than they was a year ago. Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, they're playing really, really well. They picked up the big win against Louisville. Louisville's probably another team possibly. Michael Brown, Ryan Conwell. They just got so many weapons that they can throw at you. But beyond those, I don't know, Brad. That's tough.
I just wanted you to throw a few out, to be honest with you.
Maybe Michigan State would be another one. Michigan State would be one. North Carolina, they're 8-1. The one team that nobody is even talking about is Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Now, I expected Vanderbilt to be better, but not 15th in the country better. They're
That's
ranked
true.
number 15 in the country. They're playing about as good as anybody right now.
That's true.
I will say another one would be Nebraska. They're 9-0, which, we've seen that with Nebraska in the past. They start out hot and they get cold toward the end of the year. But Nebraska's having a really, really good season so far.
They are. It's early. We'll see exactly where they fall. We're talking about early expectations here. Early season expectations. Teams that are falling short. I'm going to go ahead and put Kentucky out there because they definitely are. But, John, I think Florida has as well. I mean, there's been a few others.
Florida, Auburn is one. Even though they're 7-3, I feel like Auburn is not what they was a year ago. You got –
I think Florida's 5-4, or they were a day or two ago.
They were. I'm going to give you one. Rick Pitino in St.
John. Yeah.
I watched him the other night. I don't see the same intensity that I seen a year ago.
No, doesn't seem to be there.
It's not. I'll give you another one. Tennessee. I watched them the other night. They do not look – everybody said, well, Tennessee looks really, really good. They knocked off – who was it early in the year that they knocked off that was really good? Houston. They beat Houston. And everybody thought, well, they're going to be really, really good. Well, they ended up losing, I think, 3 games there.
Yeah.
They looked bad in 2 of them.
Just so you know, that's 4 big-time SEC schools that you just
Florida is the one that really concerns me. They do not look like a national championship team that they did a year ago. They just seem – they competed. They only lost by 1 to Duke. They played really well last night against UConn, only lost by 5. UConn is probably going to be your national champion. I watched them last night. They literally have everything that you want in a basketball team. They got guard play. They got inside game. Dan Hurley, man, had that rough year last year, and now he's got an even better team this year that, man, the guy can coach. Everybody might not like him personality-wise, but the guy gets after it.
Well, I'm not ready to say that just yet. He might be right, but all right, we're going to go to Game Day Pick'ems. I'm going to play this, and then we're going to go to Game Day Pick'ems. All right, guys, we are going to Game Day Pick'ems. The first one, John, that I want to talk about is the only football game that we have this week. The only college football game on the schedule this week to talk about is Army versus Navy. This is their weekend. It's set up like this after the championship every year. Both schools are bowl eligible. Navy, I believe that I got that right, is 10-1. I think that's right. Army is definitely 6-5. And this is, you get all the cadets and the pageantry and all the stuff that you get with this game, John. This is a pretty special game.
This game is going to be won in the trenches, I think. Navy's got some offensive firepower, Brad. But as you've noticed in some of these games, there are a lot of low-scoring games in the Navy-Army games. Army has probably one of the better defenses in the AAC. They're just allowing 22.5 points per game. I think I'll take Navy's defense against Army's offense. Army's really good, but they stall sometimes. The previous 10 meetings have ended 2-7-1 to the under the spread. So this game is kind of up and down. One year you might have Army win 3 in a row. One year you might have Navy win 2. It's all about which team comes out and just imposes their will. And I'm going to tell you something. I really love this Navy offense. Horvath might be one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different styles, too. You got a West Coast offense here, and then you got the running attack. It's two different styles that's kind of fun to watch in this game as well.
It definitely is.
And Navy, the last 2 years has, been right there. I mean, they were tied with in conference with Tulane, and that's why I say Navy might be 9-2 because they were tied with Tulane and North Texas. I don't know if if that record's right. They're either 9-2 or 10-1. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I put that up and didn't look. So, but John, I'm going to go with Navy in this game. I think they pull it out in the end. What do you think?
Yeah, I got Navy.
All right. So we're going to move to college basketball because that was the only football game that we have this week to talk about. So we're going to move to college basketball. There's one game on Friday night that I wanted to kind of bring up and mention. Texas and UConn play Friday night. Texas is 7-3. They got Sean Miller as a coach this year, first year. Sean Miller has been in the Big East. So he ought to know what to expect going up against UConn here. How do you expect this game to go?
I really like the guard play of UConn. I think they got so many weapons. They got Solo Ball out there on the perimeter, the transfer from Georgia. They have a lot of talent that can simply just take over a game. I watched the game last night against Florida. They just simply pushed themselves to that win. Florida fought. They just could not come up with the answers. I feel like UConn wins this game. I think their guard play is really good. I think their inside game is just as good. And like I said, I feel like this UConn team has the opportunity to win it all again after the down year from a year ago.
Yeah, I think UConn is going to win this one at home. To be honest with you, I'm going to take them. And then these games are all on Saturday in college basketball. I've got Arkansas at Texas Tech. John, that's an interesting game here, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, you got Malik Thomas, Darius Cuff. You got a really rough-nosed Texas Tech team that likes to play defense, likes to get after you. Arkansas has been kind of off and on a little bit. Now, they beat Louisville. They struggled with Winthrop a little bit. Only won, I think, 1 or 2 points.
1 point, I think. Yeah.
I think it's 1 point. This is the type of Calipari team that, early in the season they they struggle at times. They kind of figure it out in the year. I don't know, Brad. This game's kind of up and down. I think I'm going to take Texas Tech in this game. But I wouldn't be shocked if Arkansas won this game either.
Yeah, I mean, with this being at home, I think I'm going to take Texas Tech. But honestly, Arkansas could win this. The spreads are not out yet. We normally do spreads, but we're not doing them this week because they're not out yet for these basketball games. So I'm going to take Texas Tech for the win here. Michigan State is at Penn State, John, and this is one of those games. Penn State always starts the year off pretty strong. They're like 8-2 or something like that. This year, again, Michigan State only has the one loss, of a few points to Duke the other night. Michigan State has looked really good. This is in Penn Station. What do you think?
I think Michigan State wins this game. I like this combination of Jeremy Fears, the guy. It's past my mind. The one that can't think of his name. He plays for Michigan State. The inside game, I can't remember. But anyways, those two guys are really, really good for Michigan State. Tom Izzo is a really great coach. This is the time of year where Michigan State puts it all together. And, they lost to Duke on Sunday or Saturday, which they was in the game. They even had the lead. They beat they beat North Carolina. They beat Kentucky. This is a really good Michigan State team. They bring it every single night. They play defense. They're really physical. Fears is having a really big year.
They've been playing really well so far.
I really thought when Jace Richardson and Jay Atkins left that this team would kind of fall off a little bit.
Yeah, but Fears has really been playing well.
It's kind of been the difference.
Yeah.
You got Kohler that's playing really, really well. Cam Ward is playing well for them. They get dirty. They dive for loose balls. They're good on the boards. That's what Izzo likes to play. And he's just so good at getting his team prepared to win. And you've noticed that all season long.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Spartans here in this one as well. Although Penn State usually finds a way to pull off one or two home win shockers.
Cohen Carr is who I was talking about.
Yeah.
Cohen Carr is very athletic.
But I'm going to take Michigan State in this one as well. And then, John, we got Kansas is at NC State. This is Will Wade's new team here at NC State. And I think this is an interesting game on Saturday as well.
Yeah. I don't know how to take this Kansas team just yet.
I think one of them 7-2 and one 6-3. I believe that's right. Kansas is ranked this week. I do know that they're back in the polls.
Yeah, they're they got their best freshman in the country, Darren Peterson.
Yeah,
Kansas has a nice nucleus of players. NC State does as well. They got the transfer Williams from Texas Tech. He's playing about as good as anybody. I think NC State played Liberty tonight. I think they beat them pretty handily. This is going to be a bigger game for them. I like this NC State team. They've had some struggles. They struggled in Maui.
And Will Wade's a good coach, man.
He's a really good coach. I think by the end of the year, you're going to be able to talk about this NC State team a little bit better. I think they got the tools to, make a run. I think they got Sweet 16 potential. They just have to put it all together. But I think I'm going to go NC State this game. Kansas, to me, at times gets up and down. One week they look really good, and the next week they just don't seem like
I do expect Will Wade to have them ready here for a home game in a big environment here with Kansas coming to town. I'm going to take the Wolfpack in this one too. And then the next one, John, is two ranked teams. You just got through talking about Nebraska. They are at Illinois. I think Nebraska is still undefeated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, Fred Hoiberg is a really, really good coach. You know, they're 9-0. They beat Creighton, Oklahoma, Kansas State. They got Rink Mast. He's from the Netherlands. He spent 3 seasons at.
I thought you was going to tell me Fred Horberg's still playing. That's what I thought you was going to say.
Price Sanford, he's really, really good. He's a transfer from Iowa. Nebraska defense is really, really good. They beat Wisconsin tonight. I don't know what the score is, but that is going to go a long ways in determining whether this team makes the tournament or not. They beat this team, and you kind of knock off Illinois. You're 11-0.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, tonight they're 9-0. They still got a game here. But I mean, Illinois, of course, has a ton of talent, foreign talent, international talent, to be honest with you.
I like this Illinois team. I think they're really, really good. They got Boswell at the point guard position. He was really, really good. They had a good year last year, and they kind of, surrounded a lot of guys around Boswell. They lost a few to the portal, but I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people don't realize, and a lot of people need to take name, is Brad Underwood might be one of the most underrated coaches in college basketball.
He's a good one, and I'm going to take the Illini here at home, to be honest. Is that who you got?
Yeah, I got the line now. I do think Nebraska will keep this game competitive, though.
All right, this one's interesting to me as well. 2 ranked teams here. Arizona's at Alabama on Saturday. I think this ought to be a good game as well.
Yeah, Arizona's really good, Brad. They beat Florida. They beat UConn, knocked Auburn off.
Yeah,
They're top 10 in offensive and defensive efficiency. Jaden Bradley's probably one of the top guards in the country. Koa Pete is probably your next top 10 draft pick. He's so good. Now, the one thing that I don't like about Arizona is they don't have a lot of bench. Like, they don't have depth. They got this game against Alabama. They've proven themselves, though. And I think, maybe a loss would help them going into conference play. But, I don't know. If you can keep winning, and I think that's what Arizona has been doing. But I do think this will be their biggest test probably since UConn. Alabama can score. Alabama, Phil on, they can put it in the hoop. Let's just Nate Oates is one of those that likes to run it up. This could be a 90-80 type game.
Yeah, it probably will be, to be honest with you. At Alabama, they usually are red hot and play really good at home.
It's actually in Birmingham.
Oh, is it in Birmingham?
It's in Birmingham, yep.
Okay. All right. I didn't look close enough, I guess. But it's still in Alabama, I guess. It's not at Alabama, though. But I'm going to take the Tide in this one, I think. The SEC needs a big win here, I think.
They do. I think I'm going to take the Tide.
My next one, again, these are on Saturday night. UCLA and Gonzaga, they play actually in Seattle. This is a neutral site game in Seattle. And, of course, they've had a pretty good history over the last 8 or 10 years. NCAA tournaments, Gonzaga has knocked them out a few times. They've had a pretty good history here, and they've continued to play this game. I'm glad to see this on the schedule because it's been a big-time West Coast game over the last 8 or 10 years.
Yeah, this game is huge, I think, for Mick Cronin. Because I think if they win, they're going to be pretty much up in the standings. I think it's positive going down the stretch, because Mick Cronin has not done really great at UCLA.
He's had a time or two, but he's also struggled some. So, they got Dent in the transfer portal, which was a big deal for them.
This will be their biggest test yet.
Yeah.
They beat Creighton, Alabama, Kentucky, their only loss was against Michigan by 40 points. And Michigan, that's another topic for another night, but Michigan might be the best team in the country when it right next to UConn.
They might be.
So this game, I feel like, is do or die for UCLA, kind of because of their schedule. Now, there's probably going to be some time opportunities for them to kind of get there, but I think beating a team like Gonzaga that will contend for a 2 or 3 seed, I think is really, really huge for UCLA and Mick Cronin. In Seattle, it's going to be tough, man, because Gonzaga is going to have that pro crowd. So I think I'm going to go Zags here. Graham Ike is playing at an insane level right now, Brad.
He is, for sure.
So give me the Zags. Now, I do think this will be a tight, contested game. I think UCLA, they got the pieces there. Donovan Dent, they brought him in from UNLV. So let's see what happens Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Zags as well in this one. It is good to see this game continue. The next one,
my favorite part of that series is the Adam Morrison.
Yeah.
The game where he got upset at the end of the game. UCLA, I think, rallied to win that game.
Yeah.
That was a fun tournament right there.
Then we got a big one here, John. Indiana is at Kentucky. This is in Rupp, and Indiana, over the last 40 years, probably hadn't played 1 or 2 games in Rupp.
I don't even know how to talk about this game, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's a game that Kentucky absolutely has to have. Let's put it that way. Hope is done some discipline stuff last night in a game against North Carolina Central. I mean, not a big game. You got to continue that same mindset. This is in Rupp. You absolutely have to get a quality win, John. Every single win that Kentucky has is a quad 4 win.
Yeah. This is going to be tough. And I say this because you got the kid, Lamar Wilkerson, that a lot of people thought that he would go to Kentucky, flip to Indiana, shock Kentucky. He had a historic night the other night, Brad. He drained 10 threes on 44 points.
He's a scorer, which is something that Kentucky needed.
For me, if you're a Kentucky Wildcat fan,
you got to play some defense is all I can tell you.
I feel like, is this going to be a shootout? I think the Cats are going to have to play some defense in this game.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to leave guys open. You're not going to have to, fall asleep on the defensive end like they did the other night with Garrett. You're going to have to guard. Because if Indiana starts hitting shots outside like Lamar Wilkerson, DeFreeze, Rupp might not be too happy by the end of the night.
May not. Look, they have not looked good really in any game against a quality opponent. None of them. Not really. None of them, to be honest with you. Indiana is at least a quality opponent. I don't know if they'll wind up being a quad 1 or quad 2. I'm not sure, but they will be somewhere in that, considering this is a home game. You got to be in the top 30, I think, or something like that, to be a quad 1, at home.
Me and you have talked about this. We've went on and on our Kentucky shows. You got to find a way to win this game.
I'm taking Kentucky despite the fact that I'm fully aware that they may lay an absolute egg. I'm taking them because that's the mentality they got to have. You cannot lose this game too.
You don't want to know why I think this game is huge. So you get this game as a home and home, okay?
Yep.
With Indiana. First time you played Indiana, probably, I guess, since the tournament when they had Anthony Davis.
Yep.
No, there might have been another game there where they played them. I can't remember. But anyways, you lose this game. You thought North Carolina, Michigan State, Louisville was bad.
Oh,
the hatred in this rivalry.
Yeah, and then next year you got to go to Bloomington.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a game you simply do not want to lose, because you lose this game, the fans are going to get really loud, not just because it's Kentucky, but because it's Indiana.
Yep.
So I'm banking on Kentucky. So, I mean, I don't know.
I am too, John. I've got 5 games we're going to run through real quick on the women's side. 2 of them are Saturday. These are ranked games here. I've got Oklahoma at Oklahoma State. In this one, I mean, Oklahoma's number 9, and the Cowboys, Cowgirls are 23.
I'm going to tell you, brother, they can shoot. They can shoot.
They can. I mean, Oklahoma's got a really good team. Oklahoma State is right there too. I think they're like 1-loss teams or something like that.
And Oklahoma is coming off a OT win over NC State. So,
yep.
This will be a test for them. But I think, man, that's on the road too. That's tough.
It is.
I'm going to go with Reagan Beers and this Oklahoma team. I like this Oklahoma team. I think they'll win this game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Oklahoma here, but this is not going to be an easy game for them. They're going to have to fight, scratch, and claw probably to get this one on the road.
Win this game.
But I am going to go with the Sooners here in this one. John, this one is really intriguing, and if Juju Watkins was playing in this game, like this would be the game of the year probably, to be quite honest with you. But number 1, UConn is at USC. They're number 16 this week. USC is really young. They're playing 2 or 3 freshmen. Jazzy is one of them.
They just beat Washington, but it's a little different going up against defending champs. So, yeah. I'm going to go UConn, Brad. I think this UConn team's really good. Like I said, Sarah Strong, Fudd. This team has an opportunity, like the men's team, to repeat as national champions.
They do. I do think this is going to be a great environment at USC. I think early on in this game, you'll see USC doing their best to stay in this. I do think UConn overwhelms them. They're playing too many freshmen. It would shock me if they are just have enough grit and proven enough to stay in it against UConn here. So I'm going to take the girls and the UConn girls in this one. And John, I threw in number 15 Kentucky at Belmont. On Sunday. I threw this one in. This is the first Sunday game. I've got 2 others, but Kentucky is playing their 5th game on the road, and this Belmont team, their record doesn't look like it, but this is a really, really good. They took Oklahoma, kept that game close. They played Tennessee, kept that game close. They played NC State, kept that game close. Now they're playing Kentucky, but all those games were not on the road like Kentucky's doing.
No, they're going to Nashville for this one. And this is a game that a team like Belmont can give some of these Power 5 potential problems. Kentucky's played really, really well, I think. There's a couple games where they didn't look great, but they kind of figured it out. Now, they had the 1 loss to Maryland in the Puerto Rico Classic, the Puerto Rico shootout. They didn't look great in that game. They turned the ball over quite a bit. The defense wasn't there. Clara Strack and Tiani Key and those group are going to have to kind of be the leaders of this team, especially in road games, because
I'll be honest with you, John. I think the girls, the women here, I think they're going to need Amelia Hassett to kind of break out of her slump.
Yeah, she's not
last
great. So, but I got Kentucky. I think Kentucky wins this game.
I hope you're right. Kentucky girls are 10-1, ranked 15th in the country here. They are climbing and climbing. They have a top 10 team. They're number 7 in the net rankings this week. This will only boost their rankings this week if they can win on the road at Belmont. So give me Kentucky in this one as well. I do think this will be a close game. This will probably be an 8 to 12 point win on the road, something like that. And then, John, I've got 2 more real quick. I've got number 22 Louisville at number 12 North Carolina on Sunday, and I'll start with that one. And North Carolina's got a really good team.
They played really well. Louisville's got 3 losses. Now, I'll say this. They gave South Carolina all they wanted until the very end.
They did. Look, Louisville has 3 losses, but their 3 losses are to UConn, Kentucky, and South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. The schedule's rough.
Yeah.
ACC, these are probably the top 2 teams in this league. I think I'm going to know North Carolina this one, especially them at home. I wouldn't be shocked either if Louisville kind of, game a little bit and kind of took a lead in this game. But at the end of it, I think North Carolina will win this game.
Yeah, with them being at home, I'm going to give it to North Carolina here. And that'll be 4 losses if that happens for Louisville already. So
the schedule is not favoring Louisville right now.
No, like I said, they have had a tough schedule. And then the last one on Sunday that I want to talk about is number 13 Baylor is at Texas, and Texas has been playing so good, man. But
I'll tell you, Brad,
I got to give a quick shout out to Leah Scott, who transferred from Ole Miss to Baylor. She's only been averaging like 24 points a game at Baylor, so just got to give her a shout out real quick.
I'll be honest with you, Brad. I watched them in Vegas, and
yeah, I mean they beat UCLA and they beat South Carolina.
They're good, man. Madison Booker, Oldacre,
yep,
Roy Hunt. I mean, come on now.
The shooter Lee. I mean, she's really good.
Yeah, they're so good, and I don't know much yet about Baylor yet. I think I got to go Texas here, man.
Baylor's got a good tradition as well. They got a good coach. They did get the Ole Miss transfer to Leah Scott, and she's been balling, man. She's averaging like 23.5, 24 points a game. She's been balling out at Baylor. Baylor, I think, again, these girls' teams play really tough schedules. I think they've lost 2. But it was to really, really good teams that they've lost to be honest with you. So this should be a interesting game, but I'm going to take the Longhorns when it's all said and done.
Yep, I am too.
All right, John, that wraps up our show. We did 8 basketball games, 5 women's games, and the Army-Navy game in football for the Game Day Pick'ems. And the first 45 minutes of our show was the Big Fuss, and the last 30 minutes has been our Game Day Pick'em show. John is doing something Friday night, so we are doing our Game Day Pick'em show a little early this week. I hope you guys enjoy, tune in. I will try to post some shorts over the next couple of days.
We will not be back till Monday.
Yep, we will not be back till Monday this week, but like I said, I am going to try to post some shorts. Maybe hold off a few.
They're giving snow. So
Yeah.
Snow is a dirty word, man.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true. It's supposed to drop off really, really cold this weekend. So y'all stay warm, watch some games, have a little bit of fun. Hopefully you've got a lot of your Christmas shopping done. Maybe you can wrap some presents and do some things like that while you're watching the games.
Hopefully Kentucky will wrap a present and beat Indiana, because right now it's been kind of tough on the fans. So
yeah, that would be nice too. And I hope the girls get a win on Sunday. So, and then while we're hoping the volleyball girls have a chance to make it to the Final Four this weekend, Kentucky, and it's at home at Memorial Coliseum. The regional finals is there this weekend. So tomorrow they play.
I forgot to tell you too, the portal during our big show, the portal is opening. Well, it's not open yet. It will open, I think, in January, but you're seeing names kind of go out right now. You know, you had Marquise Davis today, a former Kentucky commit running back, maybe one to watch. So there's a lot of stuff kind of happening behind the scenes. Kentucky's still hiring coaches, DC coordinators.
Yep.
Line coaches. So there's going to be a lot of news when it comes to coaching. And I just want to say, to add to what we said earlier about Moore, it's beyond football at this point.
Oh yeah.
If there's anything that you can take away from this, that there's really nothing you can. I mean, you want to say
a few lessons learned is about all you can hope you take from it.
That's all you can hope for in this kind of situation. And I hate it for the families. That's the main thing. You got kids. Christmas is coming up. It's tough to split a family up in that kind of system. So
it is your own actions, man. You just gotta, you got to do what's right. So,
and that ain't even the worst part, Brad. On top of that, he's probably got a signed class at Michigan. And now most of them, to be honest, are probably going to ask guys, well, you might have a few stay, but you're probably going to get guys hitting the portal.
Yeah. Yeah, they just signed the class and everything.
It even makes it more of a mess because you don't even have a coach right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, college, this is the craziest cycle that we've had, and I can't remember.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about over the next month while we watch the college football playoffs.
Yeah,
a lot.
Root for Oregon, everybody.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Like I said, look for some shorts, and we will see you on Monday. Y'all have a good weekend.
Have a good one.